Yo, what's good, boys? We are back at it again with another MLB The Show 25 video for you guys. In today's video, we are doing lineup review as promised. It was between this and doing the pitcher tier list for today. We can just do the pitcher tier list tomorrow. I feel like this will help a lot more people looking to run their games today. So we're going to try to get this up more or less right when Weekend Classic does. So first guy we got here, we got my guy Het, just an 800 rating. First year on the show, don't know what to do with the batting order. Got about 100k subs, not close to any collections. Learning a lot from the channel. Greetings from the Netherlands. So this could be DD Gregorius. All right, let's see what we're working with. So we got Brian Reynolds, Griffey, Santi, Ortiz, Polanco, Marte, McMahon, JD. I mean, and you got Posada. So I feel like that's almost as good as you can do without having collections. Obviously, everybody that we reviewed today will now have an outdated shortstop / third base because there's a new chase pack, Willie Castro, that has max contact, max clutch, and good power. So he's by default probably better than Marte, definitely better than McMahon, assuming he runs third base. So everybody's going to have an outdated shortstop. Other than that, really good team. Ortiz is a little suspect, but there's not that many better first basemen you can get without doing like a collection or something. So not bad there. Starting rotation. Be a little cautious probably with Arrieta. On Hall of Fame, I could see a world where he can be just as good as Cueto for sure, but if you ever cross that legend border, Cueto is definitely going to be way better. Include the bench. So he does have Ted Simmons. Yeah, obviously doesn't fit. Does have Manny. I don't think, yeah, Manny doesn't get in. Not to that. And then bullpen wise, Audie, Mason Miller. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm a little soured on Urseg. He's not like as dominant as I'd like him to be. But there's not really that many other options. So Isaaga would probably be better. But he is like 26k. So if Urseg's just throwing for you, I'd probably go get Isaaga. All right. Yeah, I see what you mean with the lineup structure. So Posada should probably either be 3 or 4. All right. Let's see. Marte 2. Marte or Polanco 2. Like a switch hitter second. They're both kind of fast. Polanco's faster. You don't really have a traditional leadoff. You've got Brian Reynolds and Griffey, who both can't steal, and they both have about the same speed. So it's kind of up to you there. But you have a million switch hitters, so you can really do whatever you want. I would just get somebody faster in the 2-hole, so you avoid double plays. And I'd probably have Posada either 3, 4, or 5, just because he should be one of your better hitters. But there's a million different philosophies for how to structure your lineup, so the way I do it isn't necessarily right. So, pretty good team. I think this is like a 9. This is like a 9 without Beltran, which is crazy to say. This is like as good as your team can probably be without getting Scott or Beltran. So it's a pretty solid all-around team. All right, next team. We got Finley's team heading into Weekend Classic. Likes a D-backs boost. Trying to get Beltran, but he's got Bobby Witt and Shohei, so that's not super fun. All right, let's see. Thank the Lord we can zoom, but the resolution's not going to get any better. All right. Santi, Marte, Seager, J-Ram, out of position Finley, secondary position Corbin, Tatis. I mean, it's not bad. It's really not bad. I assume you like alternate McMahon and Ramirez depending on like if J-Ram has his got choked up. If J-Ram has his inside edge or not, as well as trying to get out. Another lineup order. So we'll go over it. I like J-Ram 2, and then probably just like Corey Seager. Yeah, I would probably go Corbin Carroll lead off, then J-Ram 2, and then like Corey, and then kind of go from there between like Corbin Carroll, Judge, Santander, because you got some really good hitters. And Tatis isn't your traditional leadoff. Like, he's kind of fast, but he doesn't have great stealing. So I think you'd be better suited with a guy like Carroll leading off. And then starting staff, you're gonna see John and everybody's. John and Dustin May should be in everybody's. They're really good. We got Mr. Perry and Johnny Cueto. New Luke Weaver, so he is using that card. Haven't used him personally. I don't know. I don't love Trevor Hoffman, but if he's been cooking for you, then I can't really say anything bad about it. Not bad. It's probably like a flat 8. Like, it's a really solid team. You got some okay like cornerstone cards like Santander, Marte, John, Dustin May, but you know, it's not competing with like collection teams. Or you can compete. I'm just saying like team wise. All right, so our color bar has got bigger now. This is what happens when you send like 4 emails. Hoffman placeholder for Urseg. Replace Vlad with Chris Bryant. Replace Ottavino for him. Why are you replacing Ottavino? So y'all aren't gonna be able to see the left fielder at all. And anytime I click out, it leaked the email. So we're gonna try not to do that. But he has Juan in left. So Juan in left, Weatherholt, Vlad. Wow, that's a lot of lefties. It's only 4 actually. It's just they're all like right here. Don't love that. He didn't mention anything about the lineup, though. I mean, I think Weatherholt at this point is so outdated that like you just kind of got to go a different spot. Like, the new Ellie blows him out of the water. Pitching wise, thankfully none of the pitchers are censored, or now they might be. Zim, Arrieta. Yeah, I mean, everybody just has a good starting staff. You went from like 2 weeks ago where if you didn't have Randy or Clemens, you had a terrible one, to like now everybody has a good one. I mean, I think the bullpen's fine. Oh, who would I replace? Who would you replace Ottavino for? Yeah, you made it sound like you were getting rid of him. You mean take out? Probably Matt Brash. Brash or Hoffman, whoever's worse. And then we have another lineup structure. Interesting. Yeah, I can't sugarcoat it. Juan Soto 7th is crazy work. We can go ahead and get rid of this. Juan 7th is crazy. There's just like no way he's got to be up. I mean, Weatherholt 5th. Like, what are we doing? Kyle Tucker versus Juan is a conversation. I think Juan's just better. I think Juan should take 3, Tucker should get 5, and then Weatherholt anywhere from 7 to 8. Yeah, I mean, you have that like anti-speed lineup, so there's really not like a great 2-hitter for you. I think you just got to work on getting some more switches in the lineup. I mean, you have this Ellie. Like, you could maybe it makes your console lag. Maybe that's why you're not using them, but let's go ahead and put our bar back on here. But there's really not that much to change with lineup structure like that, and I don't really know how you hit with like each of the cards. What's the starting staff? I want to say like 7.5. I think there's just like holes. Replace Vlad with Chris Bryant, so that'll help your lineup structure a little bit because he'll just be a way faster player. All right, back to a somewhat normal bar. Lucas here sitting on 200K, really good ranked record. Plans to move Reynolds to right field. Just going on. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So you already have Shohei. So anything you're doing away from live series, like even if you get Posada and he's great, it is detracting from your live series. So I see where you're at. Ted Simmons just does kind of feel like a dead spot in the lineup. E5, Polanco. Can I back out of this? Bullpen look. Danny made it to a gold. Nah, he's actually probably tough now, especially with the inside edge. So he's using Loizaga. He likes Loizaga. Bench. And then pretty much the usual starting staff. I would say I would be cautious about using Fernando on Hall of Fame. Like, if you make it to 900 rated, you know, he's pretty good on Legend and really good on GOAT. But on Hall of Fame, I'd be a little cautious with it. It's another really solid team without collections done. So I think if the one with Posada was a 9, this one's probably like an 8.5. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Let's see. What do you want my opinion on? Pretty much just Posada. I mean, it's up to you. It depends on how bad you hit with Ted Simmons. For me, he was like a 300 average guy with a home run like every 15 at-bats. That's just not good enough for me. So I went for Posada. But there's also now Santana. I mean, there's a million different ways you can go. So next up, we got Tyler. So he's a veteran that has came back. Platooning Lindor and Cattell. That's crazy. Stack righties, yeah. Sounds right. It's crazy how you go 16-1 by limiting your lefties in your lineup so you don't get punished. People don't want to listen. Ohtani away from Beltron. Okay. Judge. All right. Says I got him back into the game. Fire. I'm sorry it had to be this year. I'm sorry it had to be this year. All right, Reeseekins. All right, we actually have some upgrades. Actually, 90 overall Ellie. Easy. Easy does it. Pete Alonso will be better than this Rhys Hoskins. Rhys has a really good swing. Pete has an even better swing and doesn't have like the stat deficiencies that Hoskins has. I'd probably play Juan in the field over Tatis. I would either play Juan over Tatis or over JD, whoever hits worse. Because Juan's defense really isn't bad after you put parallels on him. KB, I don't love his swing, but like positional value for him is insane. Like, and you said you're Ohtani away, so you don't have like Chase Headley. So you do have J-Ram. So if J-Ram's playing up against righties by like 15, like he does some days, I'd probably start him over Bryant. But really just, I don't hate Judge at DH, man. Like, he's got some of the craziest stats in the game. And then Ted Simmons is obviously a hole, but you said you're putting all your subs in the Beltron, which is understandable. Clemens, John, I mean, dude, that's 3 aces right there. Zimmerman will be good. And then, I mean, if Skeens is like your 5 starter, then it's not the worst thing in the world, but I do absolutely despise him. I don't really love Miller. The only way I'd probably run Miller is, okay, well, there's a Lightning Luke Weaver in the monthly program, so definitely go run that if you're running the live series. And then you could look into getting that Munoz. Maybe you get lucky and pull him. You get 2 of the packs. Maybe you get lucky and pull him. Or you pull a card that you can sell to then get Munoz. I'd probably consider not doing Andrew Miller unless you're going to like run with the Guardians boost at tier 1 to like help J-Ram out. But it just doesn't feel super worth it. So, yeah, you got upgrades. This is probably like, I was gonna say 7.5, but I think the starting staff just carries. Like, this is a gross like starting rotation. So I think I'll give it an 8. There's some pretty obvious upgrades to go get. Like, I think the new Ellie has like 90 or 99 reaction somewhere in that window. So he's just gonna be better in center field. And then you said you're platooning these 2. I would just run Cattell full time with like the D-backs boost, but that's just me. All right, so we got some work to do here. I'm going to try to read all this because he put it all in the header. So y'all just give me a second and I'll give you the summary. Okay, so he pretty much just said that he hates his outfield defense, thinks he'll have more stubs, was debating on finishing John. Got news for you. It's completely free now. So, of course, it's worth it. Josh Young on the bench, classic bench photo. All right, let's see. Dustin, Zim, Cueto, DeGrom, Satchel. I would send Satchel into the moon, not gonna lie, or into the sun. Just not good. I don't love DeGrom either, but Strom, yeah, I mean, pretty good bullpen. Or lefties, but it is what it is. And then let's see attachments. Where I got the Chick-fil-A cup. Oh my, we're running Lance Berkman in center field. Yo, I was not ready for that. I'll be honest, I was not. I was not ready for that. That makes my eyeballs hurt right there. At a certain point, it gets ridiculous. Like, it gets actually ridiculous at a certain point. Like, you gotta throw like Santi in left and like move Berkman to first and just cut one of these outfielders or something. Because at a certain point, it just gets ridiculous. Like, you gotta have some defense in the outfield. Because right now you actually have none. I would like to issue a formal apology to the guy from the last video where I said he had the worst defensive outfield I've ever seen. We might have a new winner. Juan and Wright isn't terrible, but the other two are downright brutal. So, I mean, but the infield's not bad, so there's nothing wrong with it there. He said he didn't have John, right? So, I mean, you swap in John for Satchel, and this is probably like a 9 out of 10 rotation. So, not bad. I think the lineup's just a little suspect there. Yeah, I can't think of a rating. Like 7, man, 7. I'm taking off a point or like a point and a half just because of the outfield defense. That's brutal. All right, next team, we got Nicholas here, 767, 30K, working towards Zimmerman. Just wants me to point out flaws. Martinez for Cattell. Okay. Everybody's asking to censor it. I'm like, bro, I've been censoring the email. All right. I've been censoring it. Somebody's got to come in for Chase Dollander. I'll be honest. I don't know who invited, bro. He has a really good clutch. But somebody's got to come in for him. I don't know who. Like you said, you're saving for Zimmerman, so I guess I'll just be Zimmerman eventually. Let's see. Lineup looks good. I don't love the So Hoppy, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Like, you are probably going to struggle against lefties because, like, Manny's worse against lefties than he is against righties. Griffey's better against lefties, but then you're hitting lefty-lefty. Tatis is way worse against lefties. Ortiz is significantly worse against lefties. I think JD's actually slightly worse against lefties. So your only real lefty mashers are like Cattell and kind of Polanco. So you almost need somebody that can hit lefties a little more. I don't know if that's like a Mike Napoli. That feels disgusting to say, but he objectively, he does do that. Maybe like the new Chris Bryant at third base. I know a lot of people don't want to spend 5 hours in a mini season for him, so I get that. Yeah, I think you gotta find somebody that hits lefties. There's not a ton of great options. But if like you face John and Ortiz and Griffey are just getting shut down because of it, and then like Manny's just flying out and Tatis is just flying out because they both have like Manny's like 80-80 against lefties, Tatis is like 80-60. So I mean, if they're both just sitting here flying out, that's not gonna be a fun time for you. Bullpen wise, we got a Hobie enjoyer. Other than that, like nothing wrong with the bullpen. I don't love Urseg. I think this is probably the #1 bullpen recommendation I'd probably make is swap Urseg for Loizaga, because that Loizaga is pretty gross and Urseg's just kind of overrated. Like, he's fine, but he's not anything insane. That's a pretty solid team. I would say probably a 7.5, which is like not a bad thing. But starting staff needs a little bit of help. I mean, you almost have 2 aces, but you get Zimmerman in there, it makes it like a way better one. And then, I mean, the lineup's good. It's just like I don't really necessarily know how you improve it a ton without getting like Posada or Santana or like one of those guys. All right, next up we got Aaron. He's doing storylines to get John. All right. Kopech and Urseg, nothing wrong with that. Although I will say Urseg's outlier feels like glitched. Like, it feels like he can't throw over 101, which is crazy. So another guy running Reese, easy solution, Pete Alonso. Not to say Reese isn't good, it's just Pete's just going to be better. Like, his swing's insane, to be honest with you. Let's see, what else we got? Josh Young, I actually like him. I think his swing's pretty solid, and he's like 70, I think he's like 80, 75 against righties, and then like 100, like 110 against lefties. So, I mean, he nukes lefties. Trout's a little suspect, but you said you're like firmly on All-Star at like 500 rated. So it's probably not the end of the world to still have Trout. I don't love the rotation. It's just like Corey, Cueto, just against some players on All-Star, they'll probably be good because you can just throw low and away cutters, just low and away sinkers, and they'll just roll over for the whole game. But against like All-Star players who are proficient on All-Star and like get hard stuck on Hall of Fame, they'll probably light them up. But every pitcher is going to give up runs on All-Star. It's just kind of how it is. Suter's a little suspect. I think there's way better options than him. Loizaga been a popular recommendation. Trying to think of, I mean, like Felix Bautista realistically will probably be better than Suter for you at the ranks that you're at. Like, if I was in this rating, like 400 to 500 rating, I'd be pitching Felix Bautista every other game out of the bullpen. Assuming you're good with pinpoint, he'll fry. So overall, team wise, probably like a 7 flat. I mean, he's got Posada, which is a huge card to have. He's got Polanco and he's got Marte. Trout's a little dated now, but on All-Star he's good, so I kind of get it. It's just the starting staff. So yeah, I think you go knock out John, probably brings you from like 7.5 to like an 8. And then it's a matter of like working on collections. All right, so I'm gonna ask you guys to probably not do this. He just sent like a second message that wasn't really relevant. So now we have 2 color bars, which is fun. 32K need Marte and Ohtani for collections, 800 to 900 rating. All right, see what we can do here. Soto should be in. You don't have a lot of left air. You've got 2, but 3's not like the end of the world. I'd probably personally run, like, if you can get the 90 Ellie, I'd run him at shortstop over Bobby Witt. Not even kidding. And then Mookie with the right inside edge and some parallels, I would consider over Kipnis. It just depends on where you're at. Or you could do what the other guy was doing and run Ellie in center field and get like the new Ellie and throw him there. I think you'd be doing good there. Other than that, 32K isn't exactly a budget to work with. So we got Roger, Dustin, John, Mr. Perry here, and Jordan Zimmerman. Bullpen looks all right. Hader's a little suspect. He gets the job done, but Matt Strom's just definitely better. So there we go. That's a change within the budget. And then lineup-wise, probably flip Jordan and J-Ram. And then other than that, that's kind of how I'd leave it. I think Ted in the 5 spot's kind of crazy, but I'm going to assume you hit well with him. So, it's probably like a 7. I don't really know how you want me to get you right with 32K. All I can really say is Matt Strom for 32K. All right, next up, we got Aaron. So he's no money spent, 220K. Should be making upgrades before Weekend Classic. All right, let's see. Should he make any changes? A lot of mobile app submissions, I guess, is easier. So he's got Peter. I would probably check him versus Santander, who should actually play first, because Pete could be better defensively. I'm not sure what his stats are. I mean, for like 200K, I could see Posada winning you a couple extra games. You didn't exactly put your division, so I don't know how worth it an extra win or two would be. I think you're fine with this team. Let's see the starting staff before I say anything else. Satchel's got to go. You have John. I'm not a big Glavin guy, but like if he's doing fine. Trying to think of like other like budget pitchers. Like I think Edward Cabrera would be really good for like the low. I'm not super up to date on like my budget pitchers right now. And another guy was Suter, where I mean, I think Suter's like, this is the best Suter's ever been. Would I run him over a lot of the guys that we have? No, I wouldn't. So I'd probably replace him. So I don't think it's worth like spending all 200K that you have to get maybe one more win in Weekend Classic, something like that. Let's see. W lineup structure for the most part, I'd probably just move Santi up, move Pete up, drop Tatis into like either the 5 or the 6 spot, just because if it's a lefty, like you're just handicapping yourself by having them hitting that high. But other than that, pretty solid. Flip Cattell and Mookie. I don't know how I didn't pick up on that. I guess just the mobile view's a little different, but swap those two, you'll get better infield defense. It's probably like just a 7 flat. Like it's all right. It's like an inoffensive team. I don't hate it. All right, so next team, we got Brett here. Current lineup on All-Star. Been working on live series, but he's not close. 220K again. It's a popular number. Only full collection is NL Central. Decided to try out Will Smith over Ted. That's probably a good idea on All-Star. Love the vids. Keep it up. All right, so I'm going to have to pause real quick. And we'll get rid of our color bar, because should not need it at this point. So we got the lineup here. Manny, Griffey, Martinez. Feel like seeing that outfield quite a bit. Ortiz, Glaber, Ellie, Josh Young, Kyle Tucker, Will Smith. I mean, yeah, nothing wrong with it. I think Glaber's getting a little dated at second base, but I mean, if you like the swing, you like the swing. That's not bad. Dude, the sharpness on this image is crazy. Do you have Ellie? Yeah, okay, he had Ellie in. I was about to say. Thought we got a different one. Swap him and Griffey, I would say. I like having a switch hitter second, but I'd much rather have the guy that hits a bloop single and then steal second, guaranteed. Batting leadoff, personally. Other than that, I feel like your lineup structure's fine. I'd like to get some more switch hitters in there, but most of them are really expensive, so there's not a ton to say about it. John looks like a first generation like Pokemon card, like on a Game Boy or something. Dustin May, Cueto, Skeens, Leiter. Okay. And then bullpen wise, Brash, Urseg, not my most favorite guys in the world. Hoffman. I don't love Goose only because his pinpoint isn't that good and his control isn't that good. If he can throw it where you want him to, he's actually disgusting. But the problem is doing that with messed up pinpoint and just really bad control in general. Hoffman, little dated probably. Like you should probably go get Loizaga for one of these guys. whoever you're not comfortable with. And then other than that, assuming they've been fine for you, I just kind of keep rocking with them. But pretty solid little team. Let me not scroll up too much. It's probably like another 7. I mean, you see, this is a lot of people's just starting rotation is Leiter, Cueto, May, and John, which is good because y'all are listening, because those are probably the best free pitchers you can go get. All right, next team, we got Max here. What's up? 900 rating, all the recommendations I can give. All right. So he's going to be on Legend. So this is our first guy, I think, of the day that's firmly going to be on Legend. I guess he just... Okay, so he sent me that as his lineup squad, like, screen. Nothing wrong with it. Gilbert, Mookie, Headley, DHing Ortiz. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The outfield defense isn't crazy because you got Corbin playing a secondary. One who's not going to be anything special. I mean, the more parallels you put on him, the better it'll be. And then Santi, who's going to move like a turtle and left. But if you hit, then you hit, and it doesn't really matter. Corbin leadoff. I'd probably drop Ortiz a spot, probably. Just so you can split your lefties up a little more, because they are just one apart for like your first few spots. If I had to nitpick, other than that, I mean, I like it. This is pretty much like right when I finish collections, like assume like you don't have Beltron, but right when I finish collections, this is more or less what my lineup looked like. Was like pretty low Chase Headley, pretty low Mookie Betts, pretty low Ted Simmons, and then you just kind of work with what you got. So you got Ohtani on the bench. You could think about it. I probably wouldn't. I think his swing is kind of gross, but something to think about. So he likes DeGrom, and I don't have the same advice to give you because you're on 900 rating. So Valenzuela should be disgusting, as long as you're mixing up your pitch as well. Danny again, Urtseg. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably like Loizaga over either Urtseg or Ottavino, whoever like you're less comfortable with. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Pretty good team. This probably no Posada hurts you a little bit, so I'll probably start working towards Posada, or maybe you're just like a couple cards from Beltron. I don't really know, but no Posada I think makes us like an 8.5, but it's still a really good team. All right, so Aether has sent us this. I don't understand what I'm looking at right now. Consistently 800, was at 912, so I'm assuming for Weekend Classic he'll still be at 912. 2 switches and a defensive sub. Missing 4 cards to get rolling, so he's close to getting rolling. I'm assuming those last few cards are pretty expensive. Bro, I told you to do Spotlight, man. I told you, do Spotlight. It was cheaper than the All-Star. You could have sold this bozo Brian Reynolds and had Carlos Santana. But, you know, some people, they don't listen, man. I mean, really nothing to change, honestly. Like, not gonna cap. You could very easily just play one in right and go get a better DH than like Griffey or Brian Reynolds, whichever one of those you're not hitting that well with. But if you're gonna be on 900, you gotta kind of look for switch hitters. So I would think you'd be booting out Griffey and then probably grabbing a switch to play like DH for you. Probably either Polanco or somebody like that. So he has J-Ram on the bench, has Santi on the bench, has Ibanez for like a pinch hit if he needs it. Starting rotation is gross. That's a perfect starting rotation. Other than maybe you would prefer like Valenzuela over like Zimmerman or May or Randy, if you're gonna be on Legend. But other than that, then bullpen wise, he's using Loizaga, using the new Luke Weaver. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 because no Scott Rowland and no like Santana. But it's like a 9.8, 9.9. So just a god squad for real. All right, next team we got Dylan. Hover at 600s to 700s. Have not made World Series yet. Completed the multiplayer program. 225K in the bank. All right, let's see the lineup. Brandon Lau in left field. That's a curveball. I did not expect that. There might just be some like hard cuts you got to make here for real. I think you're getting weird stuff out of your like outfielders. I mean, I don't hate Lau on All-Star to be in the outfield, but I don't love it either. So it's just I don't know. I mean, catcher's kind of a dead spot for you, Veritech, but there's like no cheap replacements, I would say, unless you do just want to go like the Will Smith route. I don't know. You seem kind of like just stuck. Like your team seems like you know, a place for everything and everything in its place. So I mean, you can move Mookie to right and kick Soler out, but if you have him super fractured, and then like you could put Polanco at second, you could put Lau at second. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do and just get new outfielders in, but I just don't know how worth it'll be. I mean, if you want the new Chase Jordan, you could stick him in left field, and I'm sure he would be a monster, but that's up to you if you want to commit the stubs to it. Ryan Helsley, get him out. He's terrible. Other than that, fine. Fine with the bullpen. Starting staff. Go get John. Go get John. Everybody should have John. If you don't have John, you're actually throwing. So go get John completely free. Won't cost you a dime. You know, no money spent. Go do John. Like get an actual ace. Dustin May's close. He's not quite there. He's close. John is a legit ace. So I'd probably go run that up. Pretty solid squad, but like by far, I think it's the worst one that we've seen today. So it's probably like a 6, but it's not a bad team, especially for like. I think just if you are on Hall of Fame, or you say you hover, so that tells me you probably make it to Hall of Fame and maybe win like one game and then get like booted back down. So I think you just gotta kind of cut ties with some of these like subpar contact guys. All right, next team we got Devin here. 600 rating, need new outfielders. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. You did not include how many stubs you had, though. You just said you're not close to Beltron. I mean, this is just kind of the budget outfield right now. I feel like if you go into ranked, you're seeing a lot of people with this or like JD and left. So there's not really any great suggestions I can give you for like the low. You could always think of moving Santi to left and just it's a lot easier to find a first baseman, I would imagine. You could even like move Ortiz to first, and then you have a free DH slot where you can put anybody you want, like a JD Martinez in there. I don't think Santander would be that much worse in left field than Tim Raines. So there's a somewhat easy solution for you. Starting staff is decent. I'm not a huge fan of Bob Gibson, but I mean, like I said, if you don't have collections or if you don't have 180K to throw at Randy or something like that, then most people are just kind of stuck with John and friends. So I don't hate it. Bullpen wise, nothing wrong with it. You know, the usual. If you want to upgrade to like Loizaga for one of these guys, you can go do that. It's completely up to you. But not like a bad team. Just probably like similar to the last one, one of the not better teams we've seen. I think it gets like a 6.5 just on that, but I mean, you can obviously win with 6.5 teams. All right, next team we got Colin here. Most games are on Hoff, 850 rating, so he's getting close. He could be on Legend. 210K saving for Ohtani, so he's getting gate kept by Ohtani. Got Marte and Soto, still filling them out. Is it worth temporarily spending for Weekend Classic? So you're 800 rating. I don't know what the rewards look like off the top of my head. And spending for you would probably be getting like Posada to play catcher, and he might win you one more game. So after you sell him back and tax, because obviously Beltran's more important than Posada, probably not. Probably not, to answer your question. You have Clemens, so you've got the best rotation in the game. Like, it may be Valenzuela if you do end up getting over 900 consistently, but you're not missing him right now, I promise you, on Hall of Fame. And then the bullpen's pretty good. You could always go... Make sure you have a boost active. It would be my advice. Because this Marte, he's pretty bad. If he doesn't have an inside edge against righties, he's pretty bad. So there's no reason you couldn't activate either the Mets boost and stack your bench to help Soto out a little bit, or do the Martinez boost to help out Marte a little bit. So you got options to kind of help some of these guys out that might be deficient if they don't have a good inside edge. So I would say just run a boost. Other than that, just rock out, do your best you can in Weekend Classic. I don't think it's worth winning maybe one more game because of Posada. All right, next team, we got Ryan here. We got some comms. No money spent. He's got some good pulls. He's been grinding Diamond Quest. Between 800 and 900. Corbin versus Santander. 495 with Headley. Close to that with Santander. Having trouble deciding who to play. Okay. Let's see. So he's got Beltran. Oh, wow. Yeah, the way he's making it sound, I thought he wouldn't have collections done. Thought he made it sound like he was close. Wow, Santi. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've got Scott, too. Is there any screenshots with Stubbs? No, I'm going to assume you are just like me for real and completely broke now after the Santana stuff. So, for you, the way this team gets better is you either go out and get Brian Reynolds to replace one of these two, or you go out and get Posada to like DH for you. Or I guess you would play Posada at catcher and put Santana at DH. Or you can go get the new Willie Castro. I think shortstop probably is a deficient spot for you with Lindor and how bad his clutch can be. So I would probably go that route. I'd probably try to get that new Willie Castro. I'd probably go all hands on deck for him. Other than that, like, not bad. Again, I'd probably be running a boost because Marte can be kind of bad. There is a world where you just run Juan Soto and right, and then you run the Mets boost, and that'll help out Lindor and Tatis. And then all you're sacrificing is this bench that it looks like you don't really use anyway. Like Corey probably gets some pinch hits, and then Bobby Witt probably pinch runs for you. But with two Mets and John Franco in the bullpen, you could very easily run the Mets boost and get a little extra contact. New Munoz likes Hoffman. I might have to give Hoffman a second chance. Nothing wrong with it. Again, probably Loizaga for either Brash or Urseg, whoever you're less comfortable with. But obviously, nothing wrong with the team. This is the first 10 out of 10, I think. I probably would run Soto over Tatis, and you don't have like Posada and Willie Castro, but you really don't have to when you run a lineup like this. All right, so we're at 44 minutes. We'll probably do like 2 or 3 more. So we got Alex here submitting lineup 812, 30K stubs, trying to finish collections. All right. So let's see. So he has Ohtani. Wow, so he's not going to get gate kept by Ohtani. He's hovering over Ricky Henderson because he knows what I'm about to say. Ricky's got to go. Ricky's got to go. I don't really know who you have, though. So you don't have Hodges. So no Hodges, no Clemens. So I'm interested to see where you're Like, did you just buy Otani and like the NL Central, and that's how you're finishing collection? So you still have to do like the whole NL East. So I'm just gonna assume you don't even own like Juan Soto, because that would probably be what I would do, is just run Juan in his secondary of left field. Other than that, I mean, you have a lot of these guys like super fractured. So if you're hitting good with them, only you know that. So you have a large sample size with a lot of these guys, to where I can't necessarily just recommend you to drop them. Nothing wrong with the starting staff. Again, don't love Bob. I think Noah Schultz is kind of over the hill at this point, but I mean, I'm sure you can still get quality starts out of him. I would probably swap Griffey and Otani and just bat Otani leadoff. And like, at least then you kind of have a base stealing threat still, assuming you get rid of Ricky. But I mean, I don't hate this lineup. Like, it's really not like Ted Simmons and Ricky Henderson, I feel like, are the only like holes in this lineup. Other than that, like, it's honestly pretty good. I mean, if you're just raking with Ricky, then you can keep him, I guess. But I mean, if I see him online, I'm throwing him 5 straight inside sinkers, and like, you just gotta hit him. Mark Davis, absolutely hate. Bruce Sutter, again, I can't believe how much I've seen him. He's okay, like, he's fine, but there's just way better options in the bullpen. And then David Robertson, you better be, I mean, they kind of nerfed like away sliders and stuff. He's kind of got that Finley thing where he's kind of weird because you're just going to throw a cutter more times than not with him. But don't love it. Don't love it. It's probably like a 7 flat as a team. You don't have John either. 6.5. 6.5. We're going to be harsh. There's no reason you shouldn't have John. Completely free now. So go run that up. All right, next team, we got Ben here, 800 rated. Trying to improve lineup structure. I see a Beltron. Should Soto leave the squad? Do about 350 with him. Well, that's relative to you. Is 350 really good for you, or is that like one of your lower guys? So another goon squad. Not a Bobby Witt enjoyer myself. I mean, if you got subs sitting around, I'd probably go get Polanco or like the new Willie Castro and just play like either Willie at short or swap Cattell and put Polanco at second base. Would probably be my advice there. Outfield wise, feel like you're fine. It's a crazy team for 800. I feel like you could easily make 900 with that team. It's just just a matter of playing. Probably Loizaga for Brash. Again, it's going to be like common. He has 260K, and he actually has Posada and Santana. So, I mean, you probably just go get the new Willie Castro and just laugh to the bank, because I don't really see too much to improve here. I don't like Otani in the starting rotation. I'd probably run Zimmerman over him. I guess you just had some bad blow-up starts with Zimmerman, but you just kind of have to trust. And he will be one of your more consistent pitchers. So you say you want help with lineup structure. Ketel Marte to 2 spot. Run the Justin Martinez boost probably to help him out on days where he's down. Or you could run the Mets boost to help out Soto, because you seem to be stressing him a little bit now since he got downgraded. Then other than that, like, pretty good squad. Definitely, like, is it a 10 out of 10? Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. Second of the day, I think. So, all right, next team, we got Ames. I'm not entirely sure how to say it. Would like to replace a DH. Not getting rid of Seager. Championship, trying to make the World Series push. All right. Ted Simmons in the left. Crazy work. Okay, well, the first thing I'd probably do would be start Ibanez at DH, and then if it is a lefty, then you bring in Glaber and just leave him for the rest of the game. Or maybe even Berkman, and then you just have a switch hitter the whole time. I can't go wrong with that. I don't love Polanco at third base. And the outfield's a bit poor. I just don't think Ted Simmons brings good value in the outfield. I think you would get more out of like probably a JD Martinez or even still like a Manny Ramirez than you will out of like this Ted Simmons. It would be my opinion. Oh my. So no John, so you're losing a full point right there. Full point on the lineup because there's just no reason not to have John at this point. Some people probably don't like me saying that because now everybody's gonna have John, but Messina, Freed, Burns, probably replace either Freed or probably either Freed or Messina. Only you know how you pitch with them. Get Finley out of the bullpen, he's trash. I'd probably go a different direction than Mark Davis as well. Thinking about getting Ryan McMahon. Yeah, I mean, if you get McMahon and put Polanco at second base, or if you sell like Polanco and just like you can make World Series with the squad. The squad isn't what's holding you back. It's not doing you any favors running Ted Simmons in like left field, but it's not the whole reason. You got 600,000 stubs. You just commit to live series at that point. That's the question. Because he could go get Santana and Willie Castro and just have like a nasty no collection team. But I think you probably just chip away at live series with that, or maybe you just save stubs. And then if you get over the live series amount, then you just buy it all at that point. So it's probably what I would do. I would just like rock out with the team. You need to have John. There's no reason to not have John. But I mean, this team isn't bad. You've got some really good players like mixed in. But it's probably like 6.5. Six flat. We'll only take off half a point because of John. All right, so next team we got Richard here, who I think messed up his submission in the past, so he resent it, which is why it looks like a reply. So we'll just go over the team real quick. New catcher for sure. The Sammy definitely outdated at this point. Other than that, like nothing's wrong with the lineup. I mean, Trout's a little iffy if you're not on All-Star only. But starting rotation really good. Nothing wrong with it. Schultz, like I said, a little outdated, but there's not. I feel like everybody that's a similar option is also kind of outdated. You got like like Arrieta and like Corbin Burns, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of starters that are kind of in that area. But other than that, it's pretty good. And nothing wrong with the bullpen. I can see we have a tier list enjoyer. Yeah, I mean, on All-Star, Felix Bautista will fry. So nothing wrong with the team. Trout's a little iffy, assuming you do plan on going to a higher difficulty. I'd probably go about getting a new catcher. I don't really know who that is for you, but somebody. All right, so I think this will be our final team because we're at 53 minutes right now. So we got Parker here. Hey, pal, dig the vids. So a little quick tip. Pal, buddy has not aged with the new generation very well. So I would cool it a little bit there. Newer the show player, struggling at 300 in ranked. So I thought that said minus, but that's a tilde. So he's around 300. 7 and 8 overall. Jordan, Cancel, Crochet, Kopech. Mariners fan, Griffey stays. I mean, wouldn't change that anyway. Trout, you locked in. Ooh, yeah. I would not lock in collections until you have like the whole division. Left field, Henderson Reigns. Okay. Let's just get into it. So this is 300 ranked, mind you. I don't know if that's veteran. Oh, wow. Yeah, we got some stuff we can change. What do you mean left field's a sticky spot? If you do not put Yordan Alvarez, chase card, in left field, we're going to have issues. And then Ortiz over Don Baylor. If you want to platoon them and start Baylor and pray that it's a lefty pitcher, then you can do that. And then if it's a righty, you put in Ortiz, obviously. And then other than that, like, it's actually a pretty solid team. Like, just why is Jordan on the bench? I don't know if you're like platooning him with JD, but they're both equally good enough to where you don't have to platoon them. All right. So starting staff isn't even that bad. You just don't have John, which again, free card. Everybody should have him. So John in for Satchel, and you're kind of cooking. Crochet's super dated at this point. But like I was saying with the last guy, if you don't have like the aces of the aces, then you're gonna have like 1 or 2 starters that are kind of dated. It's just kind of how it's gonna be. Bullpen's actually pretty good. So, I mean, this is not a bad team at all. It's just like, just gotta put some people in the right spots. We'll do one more. Oh, and look at that. It's another stream regular. We got Memory. So he's also submitting for the VOD review, the gameplay review, the like coaching on video. So if you guys want to compete for that, this is your last chance. To go ahead and try to get that, because I think he did send me an email of him actually getting it there. So sub 500, spend some money on stubs. He's got 13K. Oh my, we're down bad. We're down bad. We're down horrendous. I think I see Michael Young playing shortstop. All right, let's see. So it's like a full Rangers team. The problem with doing that is that the boost doesn't actually give power. So Wyatt Langford still largely sucks. Ian Kinsler still has no power. And Ivan Rodriguez still has no power. I'm sure Jake Berger and Corey Seager and even Evan Carter to a degree are very nice with this boost. But I don't think I could suggest somebody to run it on their main team. As well as Chandler Simpson. Like the Easter PCA, largely free. If you just go dedicate some time to the Easter program. I know you said you don't have a lot of time, but if you can do that, then you'll get a better defensive outfielder that will hit even better than what that Chandler Simpson's going to do. Because, yeah, PCA has 44 power against lefties, which is downright awful. Chandler Simpson has that against both sides. So I would probably go about getting that new PCA. I don't think there's any other Rangers you could add. I mean, let's just go to the pitching. The pitching's easier. I mean, you can win games with this at 500 rated. Like, it doesn't take a God squad to win games at that point. So we got Nolan Ryan with no outlier. DeGrom with no outlier. Joe Boyle and Mackenzie Gore. Memory, I got some bad news for you, my boy. This is not shaping up well. Yeah, I think Boyle probably should go. I think this Kershaw should probably go at this point. Few more Rangers for good measure. Some tops now cards. Let's see the bullpen. Chris Martin and Hobie Milner both benefiting from the boost. See, like, you don't have to go this far. Like, you could go get the free Ellie and get Michael Young out of the lineup. There's a new Wyatt Langford available. Obviously, it takes some grinding to get, but like, there's options. Yeah, I get it. You don't have a lot of time, but honestly, you probably don't want to hear this, but I mean, some like actual advice. Like, you might just be more of like a play now online type of guy. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe you enjoy the squad building aspect, but like, there's a lot that's got to get done here. I mean, there's like only so much I can do with like 13K. Like for 13K, like I think the time investment to like go get like Ellie or something is like worth it at that point. Assuming you have the starter Ellie, you can just use him and do the moments and you'll be good. But I think this almost has to be rebuilt from the ground up. I see you're a Rangers fan, so I don't hate it, but like Michael Young and stuff just isn't like super competitive. But we'll see. We'll see if he gets the VOD review to go his way. And we'll just, do a little coaching. And then he will hopefully win more games with this team. Because there's just not a lot to change without just wiping like the whole team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. Till next time. Peace.